the meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So let's welcome everyone to the November meeting of the Union Township Planning Commission. We've had Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please.
Buckley.
Here.
Cody Clerk Cody, sorry. Darren.
Here.
Fuller's here. LaBelle.
Here.
Milky.
Here.
Shingles. Squatrito.
Here.
Webster. So we have 3 absent.
Okay, thank you. Approval of minutes. So we last met on October 16th. You do have October 16th minutes in your packet. Are there any corrections to the October 16th minutes? About 3 pages for it. I thought they looked pretty good myself.
Motion to approve the minutes. Support. October meeting.
Okay, so the motion was by LaBelle to approve the minutes. Was the support by Milky or Darren? Milky? Further discussion on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes as prepared, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have our minutes. Next item is correspondence / board reports. Before we move to reports, I will take the liberty of pointing out to people on page 6 of your packet the board expiration dates. There are 3 individuals whose names might or might not be Darren, Buckley, and LaBelle, whose terms are expiring on 2/15/19. So if you're interested in continuing, I assume that the township is accepting applications. And so do with that what you will. We'd be happy to have you apply, but I assume that others may apply as well. So. And let's see, clerk is not here, so I assume we won't have a report from the Board of Trustees tonight. I know that ZBA is meeting in a couple weeks. Is there anything from them? Okay.
Not today.
And sidewalks and pathways, Denise is not here, so we don't have a direct link to them tonight. Does anyone have anything they'd like to report? Any correspondence?
The only thing that I'd let you know is send an email out to everybody this evening, so when you get home, I'm sure you'll get it, is we're ready to, or just about ready to have the diagnostic review for the zoning ordinance. Our consultant McKenna is about finished up with that review, and so we're scheduling a special meeting for that review to be presented and for this body to review it. I sent out 4 different days. Just respond which days you'd be available.
Thank you.
So will that be the first time we see that? Is that meeting, or will we get it before?
You'll be getting it before the meeting at a time.
Okay, so consult your email about that. So the next item is approval of the agenda. So I'll turn to Peter to, I guess, update us on the status of tonight's agenda.
Tonight's agenda, we had scheduled for 2 public hearings. Both of those applications, originally we were scheduled to have the applications and to proceed with deliberation. That was downgraded, I suppose, to just a public hearing. The applicant requested that they would not be available. Scheduling an illness came into factor. Since then, the applicant has decided to just fully withdraw both applications. We will not be holding any public hearings. We will not be taking any action. The applications are no more. If the applicant wishes in the future to proceed, they will apply again in the future.
Okay, so items under 9, well actually there should be 8, I guess. Under new business, items A and B are gone, and so we just have item C, which is to review and approve our annual report. report, and then any other business that anyone might have. So with those changes, I would accept a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Motion is by Shingles. Is there a second?
Support.
Support by Darren. Any further discussion? Motion is to approve tonight's agenda as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we have our agenda. Public comment. So at every meeting, we have a portion of the meeting towards the beginning, which is for public comment for items that are not on tonight's agenda. And so the only item on tonight's agenda is our annual report. But in any case, if there's anyone who would like to address the Planning Commission on any item that's not on tonight's agenda, they're invited to do so at this time. We just ask you, give us your name and address for the minutes, limit your comments to 3 minutes, and I guess you get to stand at the brand-new mighty podium that I had not seen before. So with that, public comments open at 7:06.
This podium is awesome. I love it. I guess there's a microphone too. Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you. Are
There
you
must be.
coming in on the technology?
I guess. Anyway, I didn't realize the other things had been delayed or whatnot, so I had a couple comments on that, but I do have a couple other things too. I just wondered if it was being looked into on the billboard advertising over on the property over here that that they can't actually advertise their own business on it. I wondered if that was being looked into. And just the fact that we've had a few complaints on the brightness of the sign and from our apartment people. I forgot to tell you who I am, didn't I? Okay. Well, I'm Terry Somerville, and I'm representing Arboretum Apartments, 1810 Liberty Drive. So that's the people that have noticed the brightness of the sign, said a few things. And then I was just wondering how much longer the giant piles of dirt were going to be left there. It seems like they've been there for about over a year. And I just didn't really see how it was any different than the landscaping material that they agreed to put back in the bins, not over 6 feet high. So I just didn't really see how that was any different, and so I was just wondering who enforces the ordinances. So, okay?
Okay.
That's
Well,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take your comments under advisement. We thank you for offering that. Other public comments? So not seeing any additional public comments, we'll thank the public for their comments. We'll go ahead and close public comment at 7:08. So we can move to our new business. We have, Peter has, and I believe, in giving credit where credit is due, at the last page of your packet, it's numbered page 37, Peter graciously drafted a report to the Board of Trustees. I believe it's our bylaws obligate us to provide an annual report. So he wrote up this letter. I've read through it. I hope everyone's read through it. It would go under, or be from the chair and the secretary, but it's really from all of us. So are there any comments on the report?
Thought of the report.
Thought it looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. It had some nice flourishes to it and kind of aspirational, but also reported what we did. So, do we approve it? Do we just offer advice?
Well, it's your report. I just was the shadow writer.
Mhm.
So the
It's like a ghostwriter.
Yeah, shadow, ghostwriter. So you would formally vote to forward the report to the Board of Trustees.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to forward our 2018 report to the Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Support.
Motion was by Buckley and support was by Fuller to forward the annual Planning Commission report dated December 2018 to the Board of Trustees as prepared. Further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so thank you very much for that, and thank you, Peter, for shadow drafting. Other business, is there any other business that anyone's aware of? I wonder, given the shortness of the hour, could you tell us what those 4 dates are that you offered for the,
Yep, it would be,
I mean, we're not all here, so
Yeah.
not everyone can speak, but
No,
perhaps those
it's
who are
the-
here can find out.
it's 2 Mondays and 2 Thursdays. Monday, December 10th and 17th.
And those would be in the evening.
Yeah, I've indicated 6:30, and so to let me know if 6:30 would not be work.
Okay.
And then Thursday, the 13th and the 20th of December.
Probably also 6:30-ish.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
I do happen to know the 17th doesn't work,
Okay.
but I'm good otherwise.
I'm out the 17th and the 20th.
I'm available for any time.
Not available on the 20th.
Looks like the 10th, the 17th, what was the other date, the 13th?
13th.
13th. That's good.
You just knew that off the top of your
So
head.
all of those are good.
So it looks like from at least this group, the
I gotta
10th and the
look.
13th look like 100% availability.
10th is good for me.
I think
Yeah.
that's right. I don't have I don't use one of those. I don't have my actual calendar in front of
Yep.
me, but I don't think I have anything on any of those nights. But still, we should respond,
Mhm.
respond
Right.
to Peter's email,
Okay.
check your schedule. Let's see, extended public comment. So this is the portion of the meeting where individuals are invited to address the planning commission on any item, whether it was on tonight's agenda or not. We invite you to do so, give us your name and address for the minutes, and limit your comments to 5 minutes on any issue. Extended public comment is open at 7:13. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close that back up. And final board comment, any comments from board members?
I just have a question. I was just trying to understand the public comments that Terry made regarding the signage on 20. She mentioned something about advertising their business. Is there something, I wasn't here when that was approved.
It's against
so,
the law.
It's against the law.
To advertise your own business on a billboard.
On a message board or on a?
On a billboard.
The order of the billboard.
Or the billboard, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if
message
it's-
board is different, right?
Mhm.
But a
Message
billboard,
center's
it's actually part of the state law, right? This is not a township.
I have to check on that. I don't
think it's part of the
not sure.
billboard
the Michigan
statute.
I can't remember the exact name, but yeah, the Billboard Act. That
So does that property owner physically own the billboard?
A billboard cannot advertise the business whose site it's on.
Gotcha, okay. Okay.
Gotcha, okay. That's different than what,
Yeah.
sounds different than what she said, so I wasn't.
Well, that's how I understood it, and I only
Yeah.
know that because
Makes
of
sense.
working on the sign ordinance.
Gotcha, okay. Helpful.
I think we actually talked about it in the meeting with the applicant.
On the ZBA.
That was
Was
brought
ZB.
up.
Yes,
Because
we
we were
did.
going through it.
We did, yep.
Well, I guess the next question would be, she asked a question of enforcement. That's not this body's responsibility to enforce.
Nope, so-
Oh, it's yours.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But it's a way, it's a
You were so
way to get
quiet.
it, public comment's a way to get it in, get it documented. Right, it's formalization of it.
Gotcha, okay.
I respect it.
Just curious if this body needed to take any action so that it could read what we need to know.
I
Yeah,
also have a couple comments, and it's funny, because that was on my list, plus the black dirt, it's part of the excavation, that's also permitted, right? So that should have been done, when the project was done, occupancy, building, so. There was also, I can't remember the number of vehicles allowed to be for sale on their property? Was it 3?
I don't believe we put a number on the vehicles. There
I
was
thought
just
there was
a,
a number. They're not a retail, they're not a car dealer, but they seem to be pushing that. They're spreading them out, but
yeah, there was a specific designated area, for
Right,
sales.
that's what I remember too.
I don't think there was an
was it where Frank's
exact
was?
number.
The gas station? 'Cause that's where they're at. Anyways,
Okay.
just bringing it up. And then going back to the Aldi permit that we granted them to extend their building, and we noted that they didn't have an enclosed dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
And they assured us in the meeting that they were gonna put the dumpster back down in the truck spot,
Right.
which makes no sense to me when I look at it. But because I spent a lot of time in that parking lot and money at the neighbor's store, I noticed that that dumpster is still setting, and I believe they are near complete there. A dumpster is still sitting on the dirt.
And an update on that, I believe, after we had approved the plan, they'd actually changed their mind and they decided they're actually going to enclose the dumpster.
Wonderful.
So
That's
Good deal.
by the time they're finished,
That'll
that
look
should
a
be.
lot better.
Yeah.
And I will not be at the next meeting, just to make that known, on the 20, whatever.
It's the 18th, I
18th?
believe.
18th.
I will not be here as well.
Unless you guys do phone in, I can call in. I just can't physically be here.
Just put you on Skype right there.
I don't know why we can't. Everybody else does
Mm-hmm.
WebEx or something.
Do we,
I think you can't do voting that
do
way.
we currently have agenda items for December?
No, but we're not past the deadline to get
Okay.
items.
Okay, so we could. We've occasionally, I think since I've been on here, I can think of probably at least one December meeting that's been canceled. Doesn't always happen, but it could happen. Brian?
Yeah, since it was brought up too, Terry Somerville, I've had quite a few residents ask me about the piles and the brightness. In fact, I've had people in the city of Mount Pleasant who say it lights up their bedroom at night on High Street. Because they asked me about it. I'm like, wow, I tend to not want to complain because I'm a complaining commissioner. I feel like it's out of place to do so to a certain degree, but I'm also a resident, and so I guess I'll pass along that I've had a number of people ask me about the dirt and the brightness of the sign.
Okay.
I don't know if it doesn't turn down at night. Maybe they have it reversed, like that one sign. We had that problem.
What I know about the sign is I believe it's on an 8 to 8 schedule. 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. By 8 o'clock at night, I believe that's when it dims the most. And so
But it should be going down at dark, right? I mean, it should be.
well, and this was when it was lighter longer.
Right.
And so I can look in to see if maybe that could be moved up from 8 o'clock to earlier. But I do know they had, they're aware of it, the brightness.
Something they're looking at anyways.
Yeah.
Any other comments that people have? Well, if not, we've completed our agenda. I think we've set a record, at least one that I can think of. Just remember, when you enjoy this time, that you'll be giving it back at some later date. So
We already gave.
Yes,
we're all living on borrowed time.
We've already built up
and
enough time.
Be sure to respond to the email to Peter so we can get that meeting scheduled. Otherwise, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.